I think that the Eagles have a good chance of being the best team in the NFC next year. And that's not a far stretch, in my opinion, because now A.J. Brown, you got all these guys a ring that were unhappy. Even Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. There was some tension there. You get a Lombardi trophy in there, there's no tension going on whatsoever. Nick Sirianni is an Eagle as long as he wants to be. Now, we saw Doug Peterson get fired after winning a Super Bowl a couple years later, so who knows how long that really is, because Philly fans do get impatient, which I'm sick of these Philly fans. I'm so sick of them. After the Eagles win the Super Bowl, they're sitting here saying, Dallas sucks. Dallas sucks. I'm like, dude, stop it. Stop. Just enjoy winning. Don't put Dallas in here. We haven't won in 30 years. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. I mean, are you guys really the only fan base that'll sit here and go, another team sucks when your team's on top? You didn't even play us in the Super Bowl. It's not even possible. You didn't even play us in the playoffs. You weren't even one of those teams. You guys swept us. We didn't even score 20 points combined in 2 games against you guys this year. So leave us alone. Leave us alone. I mean, come on. Like, I'm sick of it. I saw one of my buddies send it to me. I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing right now? Like, stop it. But I'll get away from that because the Eagles, they're the champs. They're the champs. And Jalen Hurts, man, he balled out. He balled out. He played a good game. He also is the first quarterback to win a Super Bowl rematch against a QB he previously lost to. So making history on that front. He also broke his own rushing yards record in the game. His last one was 70 in Super Bowl 57. This one he had 72. So Jalen Hurts, he was throwing the football. He remained poised. He was running. His runs were very calculated. I liked his runs. They really threw the defense off last night because, I mean, did you guys see the Chiefs defense last night? They were putting 8, 9 guys in the box for Saquon. I mean, when you have that much attention on one player, you're going to have guys step up like Jahan Dotson and Devontae Smith, who had a big game. We'll get into his game in a little bit, but I want to stick on the Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. He gets his first ring. I've been a big critic of Jalen Hurts, but he shut me up last night. He was making great throws downfield with accuracy. He was patient. He was poised. He looked ready for the moment. He looked ready for the moment, and he showed that he was ready for the moment. He came out there prepared, ready to go, was playing smart football. He had 1 pick, but like, other than that, it was a great game for Jalen Hurts. Great game. And he made some other history as well. He's the first player to lead a team in passing and rushing in multiple Super Bowls. Multiple Super Bowls. And he's also the second player with 2+ passing touchdowns, 50+ rushing yards, and 1 rushing touchdown in a Super Bowl. And Joe Montana was the first. So he's joining Joe Montana, which before Brady, Joe Montana was considered the greatest quarterback of all time. It's nice to see Jalen Hurts, a guy who got benched in the national title game for Tua Tagovailoa, go to the NFL, very undervalued. Now he's on a Super Bowl winning team. Now, does that mean I like the Eagles? No. I have more of a problem with the fans than the actual team themselves, but I don't hate Jalen Hurts anymore. I mean, I just didn't really know why I had a problem with him, but I think I know why. It's because he's an Eagle. But I mean, I'm happy for him. I mean, I always like seeing guys get a ring that hadn't got one before. And to be fair, I really didn't want to see a three-peat, so I'm kind of glad Jalen Hurts got the victory, but he talked about the work it took to get to this point after the game with Darius Slay on the desk. So let's go ahead and hear from the Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts.
We worked. We put a lot of work in, and I think they've done a good job of managing that as it's going on, but also continue to push the team. And so, when I came back from the concussion, the number one thing I said going into the postseason, I said, let's look back at this and say it was all worth it. Yep. And it's worth it. everything was worth it. The ups and downs, everything. And so that's what it's about. That's what all the effort and energy is about. When you put it in like that, and you get what you put in, you get out what you put in.
Yeah, it was worth it for the Eagles. I mean, I just talked about the ups and downs they had. I mean, they lost their momentum last year. They got off the wrong track, and they kind of started off on the wrong track, 2-2, and now they circle back around. They win the Super Bowl. You know, it was a great moment to see Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni on the podium looking at the trophy together, because you're just like, man, that trophy in the middle is just bonding these guys and just holding this together. It's holding them together. And I think Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator this year definitely helped the Eagles offense elevate. But now Kellen Moore is gone. He's going to be coaching the New Orleans Saints, which, funny enough, the Super Bowl was in New Orleans. But I wonder how the Eagles are going to do without Kellen Moore on this coaching staff. Very curious to see how they're going to do without him. And when you look at this game just as a whole, I mean, it wasn't close, period. I mean, the score, 40-22, that doesn't really show how dominant this game really was for the Eagles. Defensively, offensively, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he had a lot of criticism about his passing game, his arm. Could he throw the ball down the field? And he showed that. I mean, it was pretty remarkable. Like, it was like 34 seconds left in the third quarter when the Chiefs scored their first point. I mean, they were shut out for almost 3 full quarters. Basically, they were. I did not expect that. Did not. I expected the Chiefs to come in there ready to go. They've been here before, but...
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my